I would just like to say that if you are a 40 plus woman and you are having a hard time dating, you're not alone. Not all men, I'm not saying every man. I love people, I love good people. But the amount of stuff that I have dealt with just in the last 2 days, it sucks. It sucks a lot. And I wish it was different, but it's not.
Divorce in your 40s left you in the dating wilderness. These are the 5 men you're sure to meet next. First is the therapist guy. He says things like, I can hold space for you, but cannot hold a single responsibility in his actual life. Second is Mr. Healing Journey. He swears he's done the work, yet one mildly sad song will send him texting his ex for closure. Third is the midlife rebrand. He buys a blender, a bike, and suddenly thinks he's training for the Olympics. He will try to drag you to a 5 a.m. cold plunge. Block him. Fourth is the man who wants a mom. You go on 2 dates and you're already his emotional support, personal assistant, and hydration coach. And then there's the plot twist. The man who is emotionally stable, communicates clearly, and shows up on time. Scientists still aren't sure if he's real.
Notice how she paints for exaggerated versions of broken men, then turns a one decent, functional guy into some mythical fantasy who supposedly doesn't exist. That's the classic deflection. If every man is either a disaster or an impossible dream, she never has to question what she's actually bringing to the table in her 40s. She's setting the narrative now so she can blame men for her loneliness before the first date even begins.
Well, this is a drastic improvement over what I looked like before I put the filter on. So there's that. I'm going to tell you a story about dating today. Dating at 40, which is a nightmare. Worse than dating at any other age, I swear, is dating at 40. Last weekend, I went out on a couple of dates, which is unusual for me. Usually I don't stack dates like that. I went on a date on Friday night with a guy who was really sweet, but there's no potential there. He is still married, separated, but that's not something I want to get myself into. Because who knows, maybe she comes back and he's like, I love you and I want to make us work out. So no, he was really nice. We had a nice time. That was it. Haven't heard from him since. I think he got the picture. Saturday, I went out with another guy who I had spoken to, and we had planned on having coffee and then going for a walk and then getting lunch somewhere. That's a lot for me. Usually on a first date, I like to just have something super low-key and casual so I can get out if I'm not enjoying myself. So we got coffee, took a long walk, and we went to lunch. I thought it was going really well. I thought we were hitting it off. He was making a lot of eye contact with me, seemed really interested. We were talking about things like common goals and ideals and morals, and we all seemed to be on the same page. It was working out pretty well, even though I lost my contact at lunch and had to see him basically through one eye the whole time. The next day, he called me and asked me to go out this coming Friday. So between Sunday and now, we texted maybe like once a day. He was always the one who initiated it. Okay? Even just to say something dumb like, how's your coffee today or whatever, like something stupid like that. And then a few days ago, because a lot of you who know me know that I'm into perfume, so I was organizing my perfume and I was like, oh, hey, by the way, what do you like to smell on a woman? Right? Not even thinking anything about it because that's not serious to me. And then yesterday I cooked dinner and sent him a picture of it. And I said, maybe I'll cook it for you sometime, after he told me it looked good. He then calls me and says, this is moving way too fast. You can understand, I was seriously gobsmacked. Way too fast. We've been on one date. We've exchanged a handful of texts. Every communication was pretty much initiated by him. And he's the one who kissed me after our first date, by the way. So here I am thinking to myself, like, are there any men out there who are not flakes? Honestly. Thinking that going on one date where you initiated the kiss and told me, I really hope we can continue this, and then you continue communicating with me, and then I say something about maybe making dinner for you sometime and asking you what perfume you'd like me to wear on our date, and you tell me it's moving too fast. Come on, dude, grow up. You're not ready for a relationship.
The double standard here is obvious. If a man moved this fast, telling her what to wear and expecting to come over to her place after the first date, she'd probably call him a creep, screenshot the messages, and put him on blast for crossing boundaries. But when she does it, he's expected to go along with it, or suddenly he's not a real man. Men have boundaries too, and they are allowed to protect their space and take things slow.
And this is why I don't date or try and do the whole online dating and speaking to anybody, because it's just a pile of crap. So at the weekend, I was convinced to open up my dating profile again, matching with people and all that business, and I wasn't convinced, but yeah, there was a nice man that appeared, so we started talking, and for the last 5-6 days we've been chatting backwards and forwards. I got a really good vibe from him, seemed like a lovely man. He was laughing at what I was saying, I was laughing at what he was saying. He ticked loads of boxes, he was really nice, seemed really polite, just seemed really nice. So I was thinking, oh, maybe, just maybe I can pluck up the courage to meet up. Maybe I should suggest meeting up. But last night, logged on, went to look at my last message and gone. Everything's gone. No messages. So I can only assume he's either deleted his profile or he's unmatched me. Nice. So what's the point? Why go through all that when just nothing? Why can't you just have some balls, be honest, and say, I'm not into it, but, take care? I'd have been fine with that. And now it's made me feel a certain way that I don't like. It's got me questioning myself, thinking, what have I said? Does he not like the way I look? And I don't like that. And I don't have that when I'm not trying to date. I'm confident. I'm positive. And it's made me feel a bit...
Man, the double standard here is hard to miss. Women unmatch, ghost, and drop guys from dating apps every day without thinking twice. But the moment a man decides is not interested and moves on, suddenly is insecure, scared, or lacking confidence. That's where the entitlement shows up. She enjoyed 6 days of free attention, but the second he pulled back, he somehow became the villain. Suddenly, his choice to walk away is treated like a problem instead of a boundary.
If you're between the ages of 35 to 40s, in your 40s, and you're single, stop scrolling. Is it just me, or is every man in their, 40s that you're trying to date traumatized? I'm not out here trying to fix nobody. I already fixed myself. I feel like every guy that I've met or that I'm trying to date or that it's trying to, get to know, has somehow been traumatized. Traumatized from their divorce, traumatized from their mommy issues, traumatized from I don't know what. But where are the good guys? Where are the guys that are healed and normal and not bald? I don't know. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with being bald, but if you can pull it off and you shave your head, then that's one thing. But if you're trying to hold on to dear life, no, please stop. I'm starting to think that I'm so healed that I'm not willing to deal with any bullshit anymore. I don't know. All the guys are I don't know. Am I the only one out here suffering? Am I the only one out here with this problem? Can somebody let me know? Also, if you want me to continue on with this and, let's start a series, let me know.
Notice the contradiction. She says she's completely healed, yet in the same breath criticizes men for having past trauma, going through divorce, or even losing their hair. Real healing should come with empathy, self-awareness, and grace, not a sense of superiority. She seems to treat every normal struggle a man might face after 40 like a character flaw, while avoiding the possibility that her own judgmental attitude could be contributing to why she remains single.
Women want men around their own age or slightly older, and men do too. When they're young, as women get older, the age of the men they're attracted to generally gets older with them. Men's preferences don't move in the same way. As men age, the women they find most desirable become increasingly younger relative to themselves. And this is one of the most replicated sex differences in human-made preferences. Researchers found the pattern across personal ads, marriage records, different countries, and even different generations. And decades later, researchers replicated the broader sex difference across 45 countries and more than 14,000 people. Men showed a stronger preference for younger mates, while women showed a stronger preference for older ones. But here's the find that makes this really interesting. Even teenage boys don't simply want the youngest girls available. Young males initially prefer females around their own age or somewhat older. It's as men get older that their preference shifts progressively younger relative to themselves. And there's a biological reason for it. Age tells the sexes different things about reproductive value. For a woman choosing a man, getting older historically came with things that could actually make him more valuable as a mate. Resources, status, competence, and the ability to provide. So a 35-year-old woman wasn't necessarily looking for the 22-year-old man. For a man choosing a woman, age carried a completely different signal. Female fertility strongly age-dependent. Youth therefore contained information about something enormously important to male reproductive success. How many reproductive years were potentially ahead of her? The preference isn't simply men like younger women. It's that men are attracted to cues historically associated with female reproductive value. And that creates a mating market asymmetry we almost never tell women about. At 22, a man and a woman might both happily date somebody aged 24. At 42, the woman is still generally looking sideways or upwards in age. The man has considerably more incentive to look down, not because men were socially conditioned to fear successful older women. And that's the part of dating gets harder as you get older that nobody likes explaining to women. You are getting older, but the age of the women you're competing against isn't necessarily getting older with you.
Notice how she calls it a mating market asymmetry that women are rarely warned about. The bigger issue is that modern culture often teaches people to believe career success and financial independence automatically translate into the same value in dating. But attraction doesn't work like a resume. A man's priorities may differ from a woman's, and age, compatibility, peace, and family goals can matter heavily depending on the person. Biology didn't suddenly change. The real mistake is assuming everyone is playing by the same set of preferences.
Why is dating so frustrating? Why? So talking to this guy on this dating app, right, for about 2 weeks, exchanged phone numbers, everything's good, asks me tonight, what are your plans this weekend? When I say, oh, my kids are actually with their dad this weekend. I work on Saturday, but just half the day. How about you? Oh, I have no plans. Then fucking nothing. Nothing after that. Not would you like to meet up? Do you want to make plans? No, nothing. Why? Why even ask? Why are you even asking what my plans are? If you have no intention of asking. And the other thing that pisses me off is that I feel like people that do that just expect you to not have plans. Like they can ask you last minute. Like they'll ask me tomorrow night, hey, you want to hang out tonight? No, motherfucker, I'm busy. And now I'm busy, right? Am I really busy? No. But I'm going to tell you I'm busy because you really think that you can ask people the last minute to do something? Like make a plan, make it a priority. Because if people don't feel like they're a priority, they don't want to spend their time with you, right? Like when I'm dating somebody, you are my priority. I make you my priority, right? I don't know. Dating nowadays is just so different. I don't think I'm ready for it at all. Nope.
Watch how she turns a simple scheduling issue into a full-blown emotional reaction. A man asks about her weekend, learns she's juggling work and kids, and takes a moment to figure out a realistic plan. Before he can even put together a proper date proposal, she's already assuming the worst and talking about playing games. After 2 weeks of texting on an app, she expects immediate priority treatment. Yet instead of having a straightforward adult conversation, the response becomes frustration and accusations. Look at the bigger picture. Fellas, dating gets complicated when expectations are high but communication and self-reflection are missing. If a man sets boundaries, he's supposedly moving too fast or carrying baggage. If he takes his time, suddenly is flaky or playing games. And when both sides come with past experiences, responsibilities, and imperfections, the goal should be compatibility, not demanding perfection from the other person while ignoring your own shortcomings. At the end of the day, nobody is entitled to instant priority from a stranger they've only met online. Stay sharp, know your value, communicate clearly, and keep building. Hit that like button and subscribe for more real talk.